Tamar Braxton's life has always been filled with ups and downs, but this time the drama has exploded to levels that even her fans couldn't imagine. It all started with Tamar going live, asking her followers again and again, "What's the drama? Somebody tell me what's the drama?" At first, thousands of fans thought this was just another one of those playful Tamar moments, where she made everything about her, cracked jokes, and gave fans entertainment. The comments section filled with laughing emojis, eye rolls, and jokes about how Tamar never missed a chance to stir the pot. But as the live dragged on, the tone shifted. Tamar's voice shook, her eyes darted around, and her energy seemed different. This wasn't the funny, carefree Tamar fans were used to. This was Tamar Braxton unraveling in real time, and she didn't even realize it. Her followers quickly picked up on her trembling voice and nervous energy. What started out as entertainment turned into something darker, something heavier. Tamar admitted that she had gone to bed calm, but woke up to find her entire world flipped upside down. She confessed that maybe she shouldn't have even opened her mouth, that fear had taken over, and that she felt cornered, alone, and more isolated than ever before. Instead of showing her sympathy, the internet did what it always does. It whispered and judged. People began saying Tamar wasn't just part of the chaos. Tamar was the chaos. What shocked everyone was how fast things spiraled. Within less than a week, Tamar allegedly canceled her album, threatened to vanish from the public eye forever, accused her family of betrayal, reignited old fights with her sisters, and still managed to go live almost daily, adding fuel to the fire. Fans who had once defended her began to say the same thing. They loved her, but they didn't know what was real anymore. Some even admitted they were exhausted, tired of the endless roller coaster. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder. Reports spread that Toni Braxton, the sister who had always tried to be the calm peacemaker, was preparing to take drastic action. Word was that Toni was ready to force Tamar into a mental health facility, even against her will, because the family had finally run out of patience. They weren't just worried about Tamar embarrassing the family name anymore. They were afraid for her safety. But Tamar didn't slow down. She pressed harder. On the Shade Room, she responded to a headline with a message that felt like a goodbye letter. "Y'all won. There's no more album. I'm going to my farm. You'll never hear from me again. I'm sorry for everything." Immediately, fans filled the comments with prayers, heartbreak emojis, and desperate messages begging her not to disappear. Some people cried real tears. Others doubted her words, because Tamar had a history of dramatic exits that never lasted. Sure enough, within days she returned, not quietly, but louder and more fiery than before. The contradictions started piling up. Tamar claimed she had nearly died, saying she suffered a fractured nose, missing teeth, and trauma that left her broken. But there were no hospital receipts, no police reports, nothing concrete, only fragments of a terrifying story that kept changing. And then, almost in the same breath, she was teasing her new EP titled Heartbreak Retrograde, bragging about having big names attached, including Mendices, and even her sometimes friend, sometimes enemy, Funky Deneva. Fans couldn't believe it. How could Tamar be on her deathbed one minute and promoting new music the next? To many, it didn't add up. That's when rumors grew legs. People remembered that Funky Deneva had been seen with Tamar the night before her so-called accident. Social media detectives went to work, piecing together screenshots, timelines, and memes. The story twisted into accusations that Funky might have had something to do with Tamar's injuries. Overnight, his comment sections flooded with hate and demands for answers. Funky eventually broke his silence in a fiery video, refusing to say her name and only referring to Tamar as that lady. He was hurt and bitter, claiming Tamar abandoned him when he needed her most. He insisted that after leaving a spot called V12, they had gone their separate ways, and he went home alone. According to him, he only found out about her injuries on social media like everyone else. But what cut him the deepest was Tamar's silence. While his reputation burned, Tamar never once defended him. She never told her fans Funky had nothing to do with her injuries. Privately, he said he confronted her and begged her to clear his name, but Tamar told him, "I'm lost. I'm confused. I didn't say anything. I'm in the hospital." Funky wasn't buying it. He pointed out that Tamar had time to post from her bed, tease trailers for her new EP, and keep her fans engaged, but somehow no time to protect her so-called friend. His words dripped with anger. "I was collateral damage in a cheap PR stunt." He accused Tamar of being selfish, using him, and sacrificing him for clout. Fans listened, and many agreed with him. The narrative began to shift. Maybe Tamar was stirring the chaos on purpose. Maybe the accident story, the silence, and the tears were all part of a bigger plan to create buzz for her music. People started saying Tamar thrived on drama, that she needed it to stay relevant. Meanwhile, rumors about Tamar and Mendices started spreading. People swore they saw them together at a lounge in Atlanta, looking way too close. Tamar didn't deny it, didn't acknowledge it, didn't post a cryptic message to steer the narrative. She just stayed silent, letting the gossip grow. For many, her silence was proof that she wanted the attention. Tamar swore her heartbreak was real, her exhaustion was real, and her pain was real. But fans were tired of the cycle. They watched her cry on live about betrayal, only to reappear hours later teasing new music. She'd say she was gone forever, then post selfies in full. Glam the next day. It became emotional whiplash, and people started to feel like they were watching a never-ending rerun of Tamar's breakdowns. The truth was, this wasn't the first time. Just a year earlier, Tamar had done the same thing. She threatened to leave the spotlight, accused her sisters of betrayal, then came back with new projects. During family therapy, she had clashed with Toni Braxton, unleashing years of anger and bitterness. She accused Toni of not supporting her and only caring about the cameras. Afterward, Tamar deleted her social media, only to return days later, ranting about how her family was toxic, how they protected the brand instead of her, and how her marriage was falling apart. The robbery drama added even more fuel. Tamar posted footage of her car being broken into, but what shook fans was her caption. "I got robbed at home. I'm not safe anywhere. I don't live anywhere. I don't feel safe anywhere or with anyone." Her words sounded paranoid, like she was spiraling into a mindset where the entire world was against her. Fans begged her to log off, but others accused her of exaggerating and turning every crisis into content. By now, her sisters had reached their breaking point. Tawanda and Trina refused to film with her until she got real help. Even Toni, who always carried the burden of peacemaker, was ready to take drastic action. Behind the scenes, whispers said Toni was looking into guardianship papers, conservatorship options, or forced intervention. But Tamar didn't see it as love. She saw it as betrayal. She accused her sisters of silencing her and burying the truth about Ashley, her niece, who Tamar claimed had her own painful story that deserved to be told. Tamar insisted her sisters were protecting contracts and image instead of protecting family. Her defense of Ashley widened the rift even more, turning the Braxton family name into a divided mess. Fans were split. Some praised Tamar for defending Ashley, saying she was brave. Others accused her of weaponizing her niece's trauma to win sympathy in her battles. Meanwhile, Funky Deneva kept ranting, claiming Tamar threw him to the wolves just to stir chaos for an album that might not even exist. His words cut deeper each time. "You let me get crucified while you sat back and laughed. I was your friend, and you threw me to the wolves." The internet divided again. Some accused Funky of chasing clout, while others fully believed him, and turned on Tamar. Rumors of Mendices refused to die down, and every sighting of them together only fueled speculation. Tamar's silence made the whispers louder. By this point, Brands began distancing themselves. Producers questioned if working with Tamar was worth the risk. Networks debated whether filming her was crossing into exploitation. Fans, too, were torn. Were they watching a woman in pain or a woman addicted to the spotlight? But Tamar didn't stop. She couldn't stop. She went live again and again, clinging to attention like oxygen. Her captions grew sharper, her lives grew darker, and her contradictions louder. She cried into her phone saying nobody loved her and her family betrayed her. Then hours later, she posted selfies, teased new music, and laughed at memes. She had become both tragedy and comedy, both victim and villain. Behind closed doors, Toni Braxton was said to be preparing for drastic action. Sources whispered that legal papers were on the table, guardianship, conservatorship, or even a forced intervention. The family wasn't trying to protect the brand anymore. They were trying to save Tamar's life. But Tamar saw it all as betrayal. She accused her sisters of jealousy, fakeness, and burying the truth. She told her fans she would never forgive them for silencing Ashley's story. The fallout was ugly. Fans were divided more than ever. Some saw Tamar as a warrior. Others saw her as manipulative. Funky kept calling her selfish, while rumors about Mendices painted her as reckless. Brands stepped back. Producers hesitated. The family fractured. And Tamar? She just kept going live, crying and laughing in the same breath, clinging to attention while her sisters plotted behind closed doors. Nobody knew how it would end. Would Toni really force her into treatment? Would Tamar burn every bridge she had left? Or would this just be another cycle in a story that never ends? Because with Tamar Braxton, the drama never stops. It only grows louder. The internet never misses a moment, and when it comes to Tamar Braxton, the fans were locked in like it was a front-row seat to the wildest soap opera of the decade. The A's second her emotional live went viral, Twitter turned into a frenzy. Some fans rushed to her defense, posting prayer hands and long threads about mental health, while others turned the whole thing into a meme factory. Clips of Tamar pacing back and forth, wiping her tears, and suddenly flipping into laughter were cut into short TikToks with captions like, "Me crying in the morning versus me by lunchtime." It was funny to some, heartbreaking to others, but for everyone it was impossible to look away. On Instagram, the Shade Room's comment section turned into a battlefield. People argued back and forth, some saying Toni Braxton was right to try and force Tamar into treatment, while others accused Toni of being controlling and jealous. Memes popped up of Toni holding a straitjacket with the caption, "Come on, sis, it's time," while others mocked Tamar's constant promises to leave the spotlight, only to return louder than ever. Even her catchphrase, "What's the drama?" turned into a viral meme, with fans using it under random celebrity scandals as if Tamar herself was asking the question. Facebook groups dedicated to Braxton family values turned the saga into daily threads where fans picked apart Tamar's every post like detectives. They analyzed her captions, zoomed in on her selfies, and even debated the background details in her videos, trying to figure out where she was staying and who she was with. Some fans swore they saw shadows of men in her live streams, hinting at Mendes being nearby, while others claimed she was staging everything for attention. TikTok creators jumped in too, turning Tamar's contradictions into skits. One viral clip showed a girl crying in the bathroom saying, "I'm done, I'm gone forever," only to cut to her strutting out 2 minutes later with makeup and heels, mimicking Tamar's quick flips from breakdown to glam. Another trend had users lip-syncing Tamar's lines about betrayal and then dancing to clips from her new EP, mocking how quickly she shifted from pain to promotion. Hashtags like "Pray for Tamar," "Braxton Drama," and "That Lady" trended, with fans taking sides between Tamar, Toni, Funky Deneva, and even Mendes. The "That Lady" moment especially took on a life of its own. Funky's refusal to say Tamar's name sparked a wave of memes, with people joking that she was Voldemort, the name that must not be spoken. Others flipped it, making shirts and graphics that said, "That lady energy," as if it was a badge of honor. But it wasn't all jokes. Some fans expressed genuine exhaustion. Twitter threads popped up saying, "We love Tamar, but at this point it's toxic to keep watching. Every week it's the same cycle. She cries, she disappears, she comes back, she promotes something. It feels like manipulation." Others pushed back, arguing that Tamar was clearly in pain and needed support, not mockery. This split in the fanbase only fueled more drama, with entire sub-communities arguing about whether Tamar was a victim or a master manipulator. The gossip blogs fed the fire too. Headlines screamed about Toni allegedly preparing to force Tamar into a mental facility, while others speculated about Mendez being her secret man. Fans reacted with shock, betrayal, and plenty of memes. One popular edit showed Tamar and Mendez in a fake couple goals photo shoot, with the caption, "PR stunt level, Tamar Braxton." Even celebrities got caught up in the conversation. Some quietly unfollowed Tamar, which fans immediately noticed, sparking fresh rumors of who was siding with Toni and who was standing by Tamar. A few stars dropped cryptic tweets about fake, friends, and attention seekers, which fans instantly tied back to Tamar's situation. By this point, the social media circus was unstoppable. Every single move Tamar made turned into content. A sad live meant new memes. A cryptic caption meant new theories. A glam selfie meant new accusations of faking her pain. The cycle never stopped, and fans couldn't look away even if they wanted to. For Tamar, it was both a blessing and a curse. The attention kept her name alive, but it also turned her breakdown into entertainment.